Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I am Sammie. Welcome. In this video, I will be talking about 10 things I wish I knew before 25. These are the things that I learned throughout my early 20s and I wish I've known sooner, because these are things that I still struggle with today and I'm still figuring out, still working through. And that's not to say if you are not thinking about these things, or if you haven't accomplished these things, or if you had no idea about these things, it does not mean that you are not doing well in life. It does not mean that you are not successful, okay? And it does not mean that you are behind, because life is a learning process. There's things that we know, some things that we don't know, and things that we learn along the way. So in this video, I wanted to share with you guys 10 things that I wish I've known sooner. 10 things that are very important to know in your early 20s, because I really wish I've known these things way before, because I'm almost 30 now and I wish these were things that I was taught or guided about. Let's get into the video. Let's start with number 1. You need to live alone. At least once in your life. You need to live alone at least once. I lived on my own like 2 or 3 times. I say this because you definitely learn like your boundaries and the things that you're capable of doing, and you also learn a lot about yourself. You don't really think too much about it, like living on your own, like okay, whatever, like it's cool and all, but like you really wouldn't know these things unless you lived by yourself. Like, not saying live with roommates, I'm saying live by yourself if you can. If you can't, then just ignore this one, but if you can, I highly recommend it. So for number 2, I am still working on this. It's still a little bit uncomfortable for me sometimes, but most of the time I'm okay. So for number 2, I highly recommend going on solo dates. Solo dates, like by yourself. Go to brunch, go to dinner, go to lunch, all of that. Go on a solo date. Go to like events by yourself. Even travel by yourself. Do solo things, because that definitely helps strengthen your independence and even your confidence. Before, I would never even think to go out by myself, like to eat by myself, like that's weird. But honestly, it's really not that weird when you do it. It's just like when you go out there, no one really thinks too much about it, to be honest. The more you do it, the more comfortable you are. Definitely try solo dates, solo traveling, solo anything. Not all the time, but it's good every once in a while. Now for number 3, it may apply to you, it may not apply to you, but for the ones that are like thinking about a career change, I highly recommend experiment with your career. The time is now. The time is now to try it. The time is now to experiment and see if you will be a good fit for whatever you're thinking about doing. So for me personally, I went from healthcare to the beauty industry and I love it. Let me just say, I was scared and I really did not know what was gonna happen. I didn't know what the outcome was gonna be. I got a lot of judgment. It was just a lot. It was a lot emotionally. So definitely take the jump to try and experiment with a new career, especially if you think something else is gonna be a better fit than what you're doing now. You don't wanna get older and think down the line like, okay, what if I did do this? What if I did that? You would just sit there and think and wonder, what if, what could have, and just kind of like think back of like what could have happened. But you never know. If you have the capability and the finances and pretty much you can try and experiment with a new career, I highly recommend it. Try that new career, because you never know, it may work out for the better. So for number 4, make your health a priority, because your body and your mind will thank you later down the road. I know working out and eating healthy is so hard, because I still struggle with that till this day. So the more that you do it and the more you're consistent with it, the more you just don't even think about it and it will just happen naturally. Because they say what, like it takes 30 days to create a habit. I would say try things that fit you, things that work for you. Try to figure out what type of exercises work for you, what kind of meal plan, or like not even meal plan, but like what healthy habits work for you, work for your body and your lifestyle. So this part is definitely a trial and error situation. You gotta kind of like go through the things that work. Hot yoga may work for some people. Yoga may not work for some people. High intensity workouts may work for people, but may not work for the next person. Definitely try different classes, different types of exercises, and different types of healthy habits, because your body and your mental health will definitely thank you later down the road. Oh my gosh. Number 5, I am still learning to this day, still trying to figure out to this day, is learn how to manage your money, your finances. I cannot stress this enough. I feel like you don't really have a quality of life if you don't know how to manage your money, because have you heard of those situations where people make more money but they're still broke? So no matter how much you earn or no matter how much you make, at some point you gotta figure out how to manage all of that. So earning a lot of money is equally as important as managing your money, managing your finances, and learning how to invest and save are one of the key things of being financially independent in life, because you don't want to depend on the next person or that person or whatever. You don't want to depend on certain things. You have full control over yourself, your independence. So take the first step and start saving now. The sooner the better. Number 6, learn how to cook. Oh my gosh. So the independence of learning how to cook is just amazing. If you don't know anything about cooking, look on YouTube, look on Google, or even take cooking classes in your area. There's cooking events. The independence that you gain from cooking, not only can it be fun, but you can actually spoil yourself, make whatever you want. Make whatever you're craving. So in a way, it's like your self-care and taking care of your body, giving the nutrients and the love that you can. Some people don't see cooking as peaceful, but in a way, it's like I'm taking care of myself. Also, I know people that don't really enjoy cooking. So if you don't overall just like, that's not my thing, like I don't want to cook, I don't want to learn how to cook, try baking. Some people love baking more than cooking, so definitely try baking. Oh my gosh, number 7. Ugh, I cannot stress this enough. Go on those dates. And I'm not saying like to go on every single day. I am not saying go on dates like every single day, every week. I'm just saying go on those dates that pique your interest. When you do this, you are actually going out there meeting new people and you're learning what you want and what you don't want. So don't be scared of judgment. Go out there and get to talking and meeting new people and socializing. But overall, just make sure you're having fun, because I'm not saying that you're gonna meet the one throughout this whole process, but you should keep your options open, because you never know, you may eventually meet the one. And I also want to say it is totally okay if you have not met the one by 25. Just be the best version of yourself and go on those dates. For number 8, discover a hobby that you may be interested in. For me, it's videography, photography, and overall my social media stuff, so creating. So I love the whole creating aspect of it. But you definitely want to try and experiment and figure out what your hobby is, because a lot of people don't know what hobbies they're into. Try looking into like events or even searching things up online to kind of like pique your interest and you want to learn more. Like when you read a little bit about certain things or when you search up certain things, you're like, oh, okay, this is actually pretty cool. Let me figure out more, because you definitely don't want to like go 100% in and you don't like and you spent like so much money. Research whatever you're interested in and just kind of go from there. Definitely read articles, watch videos, or even attend events. Sometimes people are like, why? Like, I don't want a hobby, like that's so boring. But honestly, once you figure out what hobby you're really into, in a way it gives you a sense of peace and a sense of control, because life can get crazy and it could get boring and it could feel like things are out of your control. But for hobbies, you can actually control certain things. If that hobby is not giving you any sense of peace of mind, you might want to look somewhere else. Look in a different hobby, figure out another hobby that you may be into, because having a hobby shouldn't be stressful. Like, it should be peaceful. Number 9. Till this day, I am still working on this. I am still learning about myself. So for number 9, practice self-love. When I say self-love, I'm saying like setting those boundaries, showing people what you accept and what you don't accept, and allowing yourself to have that space or that boundary is so important for your self-love, because it definitely influences a lot of different aspects in your life, your love life, your work life, your career. The more you practice self-love, the more respect you have for yourself and the more people will respect you, because because they'll see that you don't accept certain things because you set those boundaries and let it be known. One good exercise I like to do is in my notes on my phone, I'm like, okay, these are things that I will allow or things I won't allow, and these are like my non-negotiables. Like I am not gonna allow it. I am not gonna accept it at all. And this applies to everyone in your life, like people you work with, people you work for, family members, friends. It applies to everyone in your life. Okay, the last and final, number 10. Okay, for number 10, it's a little touchy, but focus on your mental health. Your mental health is so important because you cannot be the best version of you if it's not right up here, okay? It affects all aspects of life. Your mental health influences how you think, how you feel, how you act, and even how you react or handle certain situations. It also affects like how you cope with stress, how you overcome certain situations, how you build relationships. It also affects how you recover from like real life situations, real life hardships, and setbacks. And I feel from personal experience, you can only manage your life so well depending on how your mental health is. So try meditating, journaling, reading books, even seeing a therapist. Definitely helps your mental health. For me personally, I noticed that journaling helps me tremendously. So if you watch my vlogs, you know that I journal pretty often, and a lot of times I read physical books or I read off of my phone. Okay, so let's do a recap. So number 1, live alone. You never know what your boundaries are. You never really know what you're capable of until you live alone. That's if you can. And number 2, go on solo dates, go on those solo trips, go on those solo dinner dates, the brunch dates, like the lunch dates by yourself. Do things by yourself. The more you do it, the more confident you feel and the more independent you become. Number 3, experiment with your career. The time is now to experiment with your career, especially if you feel like what you're doing right now is no longer serving you and you feel like you want to do something else. The time is now because you don't want to look back and think, I should have done this, I should have done that. So yeah, definitely experiment with your career. Number 4, make exercising a priority. Your health a priority. Start healthy habits now because the more you do it, the more consistent you are and the more you don't really think about it, and you will eventually adapt to those habits. Number 5, learn how to manage your money. Learn and earn. The more you do it, the more you save, and the more you learn and the more you invest, you will thank yourself later. Number 6, learn how to cook. Learn how to cook for yourself. Learn how to cook for others. Learn how to possibly bake if you don't like cooking. Number 7, go on those dates that pique your interest. Not saying go on every single date, but go on the ones that you may be interested in. You never know. You might learn a lot about yourself, and you may learn about what you want and what you don't want. Number 8, discover a hobby. Even if you don't have a hobby, look up things that you may be interested in. Hobbies should bring you a peace of mind. It shouldn't be stressful. It should make you feel at ease. So number 9, experience self-love. Set those boundaries and figure out what those boundaries are and figure out what you allow in life and what you won't allow. And number 10, focus on your mental health. Your mental health is so important for all aspects of life. All right, guys, so those are my 10 things I wish I've known before I was 25 or by the time I was 25. Till this day, I'm still learning how to manage all of those things. Some areas I need to improve on, some areas I feel like I'm pretty good at. And again, if you are not thinking about these things, or if you feel like you haven't accomplished these things or even have began thinking or doing any of these things, does not mean that you are behind, and it does not mean that you are not successful. All that matters is that you begin sooner than later. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys enjoy videos like these, go ahead and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!